Okay, good afternoon, gents. Hope everyone is well. It is the 14th of May. Speedy, how you doing, bud? So we've had some news, core PPI, and I traded two evaluations on the news. I put a short below there and a long below there with an OCO order, and it just dropped down and triggered them and hit me six and a quarter points in a split second, so that worked well. Sometimes they spike up before they go down, or vice versa. So far so good. We have got some more news coming up in around about just over 30 minutes. Market is due to open in less than a minute. So I took a loss yesterday. I was down about $350, somewhere around about there. So hopefully better day today. So a little bit more stricter, I think. Because there has been a lack of setups, I've been taking a little bit more aggressive trades. So back to sensible stuff again. So market is about to open. So hopefully we have a better day today. Let's see. So here we go. Okay. There is a second entry long on the NQ. See if we can get a higher low here. I am aware that this may start to range. So leg down. Okay, we're pushing up, so we've recovered all of that really quickly, actually. Okay, there is a higher low there, but we're very close to these highs, so I'm going to skip that. Technically, actually, it's a failure as well, but I'm just not a massive fan just at the moment. It's not a massive risk, but it's just too much for me. We've already been up here once, and we've come back up here again and pulled back, so it may push above it. It might come down and stop that out. Not only that, the NQ chart now it's going a bit sideways, so we've broke the highs for here, so you just don't know what that's going to do now, so I'm just going to sit tight here. Yeah, it would not shock me if that came down below there. It is a higher low. Technically, it's a failure, but it's not really trapping anything, so even if it gets above anywhere, it's not going to give any momentum, and it's too far from the EMA, too far from the bottom of this channel, so it's a no-no. We may get a leg and a leg C, so now it looks like there may be a long trap there. Let's have a look once, twice, three times. Yeah, that looks like it may come down and hit that, so I'm not looking for a long trade at the moment. So that's going to get stopped out now, yeah, as by one tick. So just can't take them really. Just way far. There's no stability there at all. It should be down here really. So leg and a leg. Let's see what happens now. technically a failure there. I'm just not going long into this. I think that's personally suicide. So, possible hidden second entry long. I'm not thinking about going long at the moment. So we've been up here 3 times, so this could just be the top of a range. That's what it's been doing a lot lately. Yesterday, more or less a range. There was a bit of a move down, but we're more or less going sideways at the moment. So do I think this is going up or down? It looks to me like it's creating range tops. So I would expect this to come down and maybe break the lows there. I don't know, it may go up, but I'm just staying out at the moment. You've got some massive lag at the moment. Mine's all right at the moment. Try just resetting your rhythmic. Oh, really? So far, fingers crossed, I haven't had any issues. It may. Sometimes that lag goes up when the market opens initially because there's a lot of information coming, flowing through it. Okay, there is a high low there, but I don't know. This concerns me. I think that might be I don't know. I mean, it's looking slightly bullish on the NQ, but I think that's dangerous. You're going along into all that. It could trigger you and come down. And we've been up here twice. It may just try a third time to retest. I'd like to see that trigger. Yeah, fingers crossed. I don't seem to have many problems with. I went for a phase of having them a lot, but lately I seem to be clear of them. So long may it last. I still get those orange bars come up from time to time when I drop a limit order and it stays orange. I don't exactly know why that is, whether that's a rhythmic issue, anything to do with rhythmic, or whether it's a Ninja Trader. It strikes me more of a Ninja Trader issue because obviously it's happening on Ninja Trader. So, yeah, I'm just... I'd like to see that bar trigger. I certainly wouldn't take it. One, it's just risky going into there. We've been up here 3 times now, so it could... we got a channel with a break. It could trigger that and come down. In fact, there was an update from Rhythmic yesterday. I've not noticed one before, but I had a little message pop up saying Rhythmic has been updated. So, okay. Your chart's behind. Is it really? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much it is to do with hardware, whether you've got a fast system or not. I don't really know. I'm not sort of... I'm techie as in, I can build stuff, but the software side of it, I'm not brilliant at, really. So, let's have a look. Like behind me, let me just check my system's working on firing on all cylinders. Let me have a look. Stream health. Yeah, mine's got excellent. So, everything seems to be okay at the moment. And I've got a gigabit, so I don't know is the answer, bud. So, are we going to make a new high? I think we already have done, yeah, by a tick. So, yeah, I mean, it is a higher low, but my concern is we have got a little channel now. Completely forgetting that. We've been up here once and we've been up here again. So we've made an attempt to get high. Actually, we've already made a new high there, but then we've come back. So you just don't know whether it's going to make another attempt, touch this and then turn down. Indy, how you doing, buddy? You have 4 bars. Try. Yeah, something's not right there, bud. So, yeah, I just didn't want to go long there. I think it's a relatively large bar as well. Yeah, it is. It's a 4-point risk. It's too risky, that is, to go long here. I mean, it may work. It did work. But when you've already been up here, we turned down from there once. We've come up here a second time and a third time. So you don't know whether we're going to have a channel. Sometimes I've gone into longs like that in the past, and it's triggered me and come down, and I've wondered why the hell. And it's because it just, it's making sort of laying down sort of foundations for what looks to be a range high. We ended up, I mean, yesterday was a goddamn awful day. It's the first time I've never seen Marco mark a trade. I mean, look at it. It's awful. Price action's absolute crap. You can get chopped to bits. I nearly did myself. I mean, look at all that. Just bloody awful. Then that, then all this, then that. It's one of the worst days I've seen for a long while, that is. I shouldn't have traded, really. But I am learning sometimes just to leave it. Well, but I wish they'd stop writing drink responsibly. Whiskey boss. Just ignore it, mate. I do. I had a few last night, actually. Ash and Toshin I bought. That was the last one I got. I bought it about 2.5 weeks ago, and it's nearly gone, to be fair. But yeah, I know it is. It is annoying, isn't it? Yeah, it just makes a bad trading day actually end quite well, doesn't it? Uh, I think my wife started having some now as well. It used to burn her mouth out. See, if anybody's never drunk whiskey, I started drinking whiskey about 15 years ago because I just got sick of drinking beer because I felt bloated all the time. And we had an American friend come over, a company I was working for, and he bought a bottle of, the bourbon with the red. He's dipped in that red plastic in it. It'll come to me in a minute. Thick bottom with a stem. And I shared that between three of us, and I actually felt quite sort of drunkish, slightly tipsy-ish. But I didn't have, because usually I drink beer or Guinness and Maker's Mark, that's it. I always used to drink sort of beer or lager or Guinness or something like that. And after you get to about 4 or 5 pints, you start to get bloated. And not only that, you know what it's like when you start going for a pee, you're peeing every 5 minutes, so you're dehydrated to hell. But when you have whiskey, even if you've had a heavy night, you've only had about half a pint of the stuff, so you're not peeing constantly, you don't get hydrated, and the hangovers used to be better. So I just started drinking any old regular whiskey. And then I think for me 40th, somebody bought me a bottle of single malt, and I just, started just having it regularly, just a glass every other night. But I think what people don't realise is after you get to about third bottle, the burning stops and you start to get some of the flavour. And for me, it's one of those real flavours you appreciate. It's like, like a Stilton or a blue cheese or olives. That's something that's strong and potent, but just beautiful. I like sitting down sometimes and having, the mixed tubs you get of sun-dried tomatoes with a little bit of basil in there and some olive oil and stuff like that. I love all that sort of stuff. And it's like that to me. It's a real rich, just lovely flavour. But yeah, in fact, I've been looking for my next one. There's not a lot I haven't had, to be honest with you. I've probably had about, I don't know, 100 odd bottles over the last sort of 8-10 years, maybe. I think I probably have about 20 bottles a year, 15 to 20 bottles a year, something like that. But Amazon, I think, is great for whiskies. Really quite cheap as well, and obviously delivered to your front door. But what's going on here? So, is there something larger going on there? Let me have a little look. Maybe. There may be like a 2-tiered channel there. Let's just have a look at that. Maybe. Trouble is, if you don't get this right, it can upset the whole equilibrium. Let's not forget that news. So, has anybody else got their chart looking something like that, or is it just the smaller one I had before? Because we sort of... I don't really know. Maybe something like that. Has anybody else got their something like that or not? It's almost like 2-tiered. We push up, we work in this top tier, we come back, and now we're sort of working in this tier. Oh, incidentally, who was it yesterday mentioned? I thought they said Eric, but apparently it's Vlad that trades crude oil with a 500 tick chart. He started it, so I've got that just on another screen. Just going to play around with it. He goes for 10 ticks, exactly the same setup. 10 ticks, just 2 contracts. So I'm just going to play around with it for a bit on a sim, but he takes exactly the same as Pat's setups. So I thought I'd just whack that up on another monitor. So there's nothing you can do here at the moment. You don't know whether we're going to fail the breakout or whether we're going to continue up, but it's going a bit sideways at the moment. So if you hear a ping, don't stress. I'm just opening an order on a sim just to just to see if I get a setup on this, the oil. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at the moment. Possible second entry off here. Touching a few times there, touching there. Let's see. Using yeah, good point. Good point. Let's pop that there. But yeah, it was down 350 yesterday. No urge at all to come back to the charts last night. Nothing. I was so glad because I'd have never been able to walk away going back a few months. Just a blank screen. Have you dated it, have you? I'll show you in a second. Give me a second.
Order filled.
Okay. It's just thrown in that there. Second entry long. Let's see if that works. Out of the highs there. It should do. Just touched it. I actually like to get out before the bodies, but I'm going to leave that there as it's a sim anyway. But it should do. It's pushed up quite strong. Okay, so that worked anyway. So that's one setup. In all fairness, we got touch, 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 touch. That's probably one of the best looking second entry longs I've seen in a long while. They just almost don't exist. Classic 2 legs back. Triggered that short. Nice big bullish bar. One tick off its eye. Did what it was supposed to. 200. Well, it would have been 200. I was playing around with it earlier. Just playing around with what's it? So that's one setup I would have had. Mine defaulted to the March or April. Yeah, that's probably why, I think. So if you're not sure and you're wondering why this CL hasn't come up, find the CL there. You've got to update the contract date to 0624. That's why you're not getting that's why you get a blank screen. So, but Vlad, as far as I'm concerned, is a really good trader. And he's been doing this for 6 months now, and he trades both charts. I've been looking for something, and if someone's been doing it 6 months, mine was on. Yeah, that's why. He's been doing it 6 months and having some good success with it. But I mean, look at that. That's a perfect rather key entry point. I usually like them close to there, and sometimes prefer the higher low. But I mean, they don't get any more second entry than that, do they? I mean, look, it's confirming that beautifully. 2 points. But all I'm going to do is just trade it on a sim just for a month or two or a few months. Vlad, in fact, I put a post on the Facebook group last night and I put Eric. Somebody mentioned here yesterday in the stream that somebody was trading a different chart alongside the ES. I'm pretty sure they said it was Eric. But I put a post last night in the Facebook group just to ask if, what people's opinion was. Do they trade something else? And someone said it was Vlad, not Eric. And they actually, I'll show you. They put they put his post on. I'll show you it. Where is it? There may be a triple test on the ES, but it's congested. It's very tempting. But I'm going to leave it at the moment. Yeah, that was it. I'll just move this over a little bit. So about 6 months ago, I started trading the CLR on a 500 tick chart along with the ES2000 tick, exactly because of what you stated. Sometimes there are no entries on the ES in the 2 hours I trade every day. Bloody, bloody, bloody. So yeah, basically what he does is he goes for 10 ticks, exactly the same. And he said it works out the same as trading for 8 ticks, 2 points. I think that's what the majority of people trade now, is 2 points. But that's what he does. So the CL, if anybody doesn't know, it's crude oil. And if you trade your normal contract size in 10 ticks, it works out almost identical. So if you just want, but he sees more setups. I took a second entry short, as you can just see, but I've left them anyway. So if you missed it, you can just have a quick look back. Touch. I'm not massively convinced I've got my channel right. So at the moment, I'm just going to leave that. You could say it's a triple test once, twice, 3 times. Is it going to work? Possibly. But we have broken above this level, so it could fail, and that looks to me like it may come down. So ESPA is abysmal. Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. Summer trade started earlier this year, looks like. Yeah, it's not good, really, is it? The trouble is, what I've noticed, I'm taking more aggressive trades. But I was also talking to, I think it was Craig, and he said exactly the same as I've been saying. Even if he said if he doesn't find a great setup, he just doesn't take a trade, and even if it means he only gets 3 trades a week. And that's been my position on the matter for a while. 3 trades in a week would still give you $600 trading, 2 points. And over a month, that's nearly $2,500. Even if you had an absolutely appalling month and you only earn half of that, it's still plenty enough to have a good wage. So, but I think if we're sat here for 25, 30 minutes, the areas where you're going to get a setup. When it's up here, you can have a quick glance at this and there's nothing you can do at the moment. So it doesn't hurt to look at another chart, actually. But as you can see, that was the one I took there on oil. We've got a leg up. We haven't quite made a measured leg yet. But we got a touch here, a touch there, touch there. So it fits on that line perfectly. And it comes into connection with that one and that one as well. 2 legs down. If anybody is coming short there, it comes down a tick. Nice bullish bar. And out before the highs for 2 points. There may be a higher level here, but it's a bit sideways in that. But so I'm just playing around with this just to get a feel for it. But I went in there. I've got it set to 2 contracts and 10 ticks. And to me, point-wise and everything looked exactly with all the price lines as if I was just trading 2 contracts normally. Now, I know it only shows 140 there, but it was down about $60 because I was playing around with OCO orders. But it's a quick 2 points. So there's a setup there. In all honesty, if I can average 1 trade a day, I'm over the moon with that. I don't need a massive ton of them. So, but sometimes there's just, I've never seen Marco not mark a trade yesterday. And even Mac last week marked, he had 3 or 4 setups, and that's probably a third of what Mac usually marks. So it just goes to show that, sometimes you've just got to change with things. If there's no setups, you either finish early and take no setups and don't make money, or you look at I think it's part of a trader's job, isn't it, to constantly improve your skills, constantly keep your eyes open. It's like business. If you're running a business and you start to lose some work, something goes wrong, you've got to adapt. You saw the postage age, yeah. But it's, all I'm doing just for a while is just putting it onto a simulator. and just playing around with it. See how many setups there are in the day. And if I'm finding there's some setups, I might start on an evaluation. Or maybe just a couple of accounts. I'll see. I'll play it by ear. You'll know after a while. But as we know, and we've heard Max say multiple times, price action works on any chart. Okay, so we've got news coming up in less than a minute, folks. So just be aware of that if you're looking at a setup. But you've got to adapt with the markets, really. I mean, Mac's probably that skilled anyway. He can still find a trade or so in a day. I'm pretty sure he still does. But 25 years plus experience, I think will be a lot better suited to tough conditions. Okay. That was me. If I said Eric, yeah. The only two I've heard of is Eric and Vlad. So I put Eric, and then Strangely said it was Vlad, and he put his post on there as well, which was useful. Okay. News. Pal's speaking, isn't he? So you got a bullish bar there, which is triggered. Is this more rangy now, and is this likely to come in? But if I believe Vlad's a good, successful trader. So if he's incorporate that into his trading day, that's good enough for me. I mean, in all fairness, how often do we see second entry longs as beautiful as that? In fact, we don't. And on the ES, I've even lost confidence in the damn things. But I mean, that's what a second entry should really look like. Back to the key entry point, 2 legs back, nice big bullish bar, and up it went. But we just don't see them at the moment on the ES. I got no idea why. Why have the setups gone? I really don't know. Is the answer. When you're a retail trader like most of us, if we work for a big city bank, we'd have a lot more information as to why things, are the way they are. But I really got no idea, in all fairness. But apparently we know the NQ and the ES work very closely together. You can see the news there on the ES. You can see the news there on the NQ, and we didn't really get anything as much. Actually, well, maybe we did. Did we? Maybe. We probably did get a bit, yeah. But apparently they don't. They don't correlate together as well as the ES and the NQ do. But anybody see Tyson Fury's dad on the news? God, he does not sound like a hooligan, doesn't he? If he was my dad, I'd be well embarrassed. Strategy is based on tick chart, which means volume. So when there are large shifts in volume, volatility really plays a part. Yeah, I suppose so. But what makes something have 2 perfect legs down? What makes something into a higher low? You know what I mean? Jumping on the CA was. I mean, you don't do that, do you? You're supposed to be the grown-up one. But he just. I know they're a gypsy family, but I'm surprised. I won't be shocked if Saudi kick him out. I doubt they will, but you can't act like that, really, can you? It's almost like he's the sort of the king of the family, isn't it? And he's making it all about him, isn't he? But it'd be interesting to say what Tyson has to say about him. But that was just stupid, and he did sound like a thug, didn't he? He sounded like some sort of beard up thug. But you can't behave like that, can you? Really? Yeah, smallest guy. I think he headbutted him, didn't he? And he ended up being cut. So that one was a second entry long. was 2 points. Plus 2. The fight's this week, I believe, isn't it? I mean, you'd think he'd be a little bit more respectful, wouldn't you, really, with all the stuff that Ukraine have been through lately? Was it the 17th or 18th, is it? Oh, it's Saturday, 18th of May. I might watch that. I thought no, it's on it's on Saturday, bud. I didn't think it was this soon either. I know there's some big fights coming up in June in MMA as well. I think Conor McGregor's fighting. There's a bunch actually. It's grown more and more popular MMA. I remember when I first started watching it, I thought it was absolutely brutal, elbows and stuff like that. I'm surprised there aren't more deaths in the sport, really, with the amount of elbows and knees. I mean, you imagine a big knee to the face. Grief. Yeah, it's on Saturday. Saturday the 18th of May. I'm looking forward to the Mike Tyson and the Problem Child. That's going to be interesting. Did you really? I thought, oh yeah, that'd be cool. That I thought it was a bit too brutal when I first started watching it, but it's like everything. The more you watch, the more it becomes sort of acceptable. But I suppose it's the raw sport, isn't it? Some people are just born to fight, aren't they? Some people are just, they're brought up that way. It just comes natural to them. Yeah, it does. I mean, I don't like him personally, but I got a massive amount of respect for him. The Diaz brothers, Nate, they're absolute thugs, but I mean, Nate, the more you batter him, the more dangerous he becomes. He's one of these guys that just, it's against his nature to hold back. The more he gets punched, the more he walks forward, becomes more dangerous. They're the people that scare me. The people that sort of, yeah, they are, yeah. But I didn't used to like him, just his attitude. But, I mean, man, the guy can fight. He's a natural. But, yeah, I think he's the one that would scare me. I wouldn't want to be in a dark alley with him, put it that way. But what's it I like as well? The other one, he's kind of a real gentleman as well. I've watched him in a few interviews. Some of the McGregor. Is it really? Conor McGregor. It'd be interesting to see how long he lasts. He could never last long, Conor McGregor. He'd get tired quite quick. But he was initially quite explosive, a bit like Tyson, really. If he didn't win in the first few rounds, he may struggle a bit. But well, we're still going up. Who's the other guy? Oh, I had a friend tell me once, if you punch a guy and he smiles at you, you know you're in trouble. Yeah, you've seriously fucked up. Yeah, they're dangerous, those two brothers, aren't they? They're like the American version of the Cray brothers, that type of thing. Who's the other guy? Tattoos. Really badly cauliflowered ears. I like him. He's a nice guy, actually. He beat Conor McGregor, I think. He's quite... what's his name? Oh, gone blank. Just took that lower high. By mistake. Of course, he took the lower high. That one there. I did look at this thinking, is it coming down? And part of the reason I thought that way is because we got this channel with a break. It's a bit hard to... Yeah, it's very easy to get a bit mixed up and confused and not sure. 1 minute it can look like it's going to go a certain way, but we've been up here 3 times and we've broken above it, and it does look like it's going to retest and come down. But keep it in mind, if this channel is valid, we've had a break and now we've made a new high. It was looking congested. Yeah, I got a bit of a weak spot for congestion. I've lost a few that I shouldn't have done really because in congestion. The one I took yesterday, I shouldn't have taken that. The initial one, that was pure idiotic. I should have known better. The amount of times I say I rarely take second entries, I always wait for the higher lows, and I ended up falling into my own flipping trap. But I think it's because there is a lack of setup. Sometimes the patient gets the better, and I think that's probably what I'm guilty of at the moment. Lack of patience. So I'm just... yeah, I was watching. Did anybody watch Alpine's one where he totals up how much he's paid in trading when you go into your Apex account? He saved them all up, put them into Excel, and it worked out how much. I spent an hour on a calculator. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, but I have got a little bit impatient lately, I think. But as I was chatting to Craig about last night on the Facebook group, he said even if he takes 3 nice trades a week, he's happy with it, and I agree. You think you've got to take a lot, really, when I don't think you have. There is
order submitted
setup on the. There is a second entry long on the CL again. It's a break and a second entry long.
order submitted
That EMA is a bit flat.
Order
so I'm going to
cancelled.
cancel it, actually.
Order cancelled.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at on the CL there. There is a possible second entry long there. But that EMA is flat. We could have a leg. It may trigger you and come down and have another leg. See, we've had this. We've come to the top, but we've only struggled to get so high, so I expect a couple of legs down. That's really only a leg sideways. We could get a leg and a leg. It may work, but I don't think it's the best trade to take at the moment. So we've had a break out of this and eventually a new high, but it's quite tight together and choppy again. Oh, you as well, did you? Yeah. I think you have to really filter out, don't you? The stuff, anything to do with congestion, you just have to leave it. Sometimes I'm trying to work out. Now, there is a certain amount of congestion that you can trade, but when it's like this, it's very hard to read, and sometimes you almost convince yourself there's something there. But when it is tight like that, I mean, to be honest with you, it's going sideways. You kind of expect that to work, wouldn't you? You could say triple test, but it triggers and comes down. So yeah, it's a triple test, but even triple tests are a lot less successful when it's like that. And when it is like that, you only need to get it slightly wrong and it stops you out. I mean, if we're going long and we take a trade like that but put a stop down here, then you probably expect it to work. But because we have our stops so tight, you've got no room to manoeuvre. I mean, we're pushing up like that, aren't you? We have a break, you'd expect to push up, but lower high around 1505 on my chart. You on about that bar there, are you? If you were going short, that's the only lower high I can see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's one of those. You went long. I thought you went short. Oh, you went long there, and that stopped you out. Is that what you were doing? Well, that's what I meant. I thought because I thought I saw you went. You said lower high. My mistake. No, it's taken off. Yeah. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, it's just it's one of those things that when you take a trade, it doesn't work, and you think, why did I take a trade? It's clearly congested. So you kind of convince yourself, and I think it is a bit lack of patience and discipline. But the trouble is, when there are such a shortage of trades, it's like anything, with the best will in the world, you can be the most disciplined. If you're in a queue, some people will wait there for an hour and be fine. Other people will tear their hair out in 15 minutes. But if you're used to it, it's not so bad. But at the moment, it has got particularly bad with setups, and you can be sat here for 3-4 hours of a day and not take one. So I think it's just adapting your. You've just got to be more patient than normal, haven't you? But I think that the picture is still the same, isn't it? You're still going to wait for trades and make money, but unfortunately, you've got to wait a bit longer. But the trouble is with that, sometimes it's when you see a trade pop up, it's kind of like disbelief. I did it the other day. There was a really nice setup, and I thought, no, I can't take this. It's too good to be true, and it worked like a treat. So your mind can play tricks with you a little bit, can't it? Yeah, it's like I took that trade yesterday. I see a lot of second entries that work, and I avoid them. So I thought, okay, next second entry I'm going to take. So we had that going up there, and granted, it's fitting nice. And we had a break. So we had one leg down and a second leg down to a second entry. Part of the reason I took it is because it was a small risk. A tick above, tick below. I think it was about a 2-point risk. Maybe 1.75. So I thought, leg and a leg, down to the EMA. It's fitting nice in there. Let's just take it. Look how nice it's fit along the top. Touch, fitting nice. Trigger me, stop me out. So you kind of can't win, really. Because most of the time I don't touch them. I wait for the higher low. But I see so many of them work. So I thought I'll give them a go. And sometimes you just need a little extra reminder why you do something. So we've had a break. 1, 2 pushes up to a new high. So are we coming down now? One would think so. I thought that might come down because I was looking at that on the NQ. We got the channel down with a break. So I was expecting this to come down and make a new low, which it looks, after that initial push, we may get a bit of a pullback. It looks like it's probably going to. So it's even harder to read on the NQ at the moment, but we could come down and push it. It's hard to say, but so leg and a leg. Okay, so channel, break, 2 pushes to a new high. So I think we're quite lightly on our way down now. So maybe this is a range. The trouble is, because that was sort of more news-based, if we didn't get that initial push down and recovery, we may end up just going sideways anyway, so... So that higher low actually worked. I couldn't take it. One, it's quite a big risk. Two, it's going long into there, but it did work. Was 2 legs back with a higher low, but when it's been up here 3 times and it's not got through, that makes me nervous about going above that. I mean, realistically, it took above it. There's not even a point. So the fact that it worked is a bit irrelevant. So a second entry short, another push up here. This NQ looks like it may, after this initial push up, leg down with a break, another leg down. It looks like we may get a short here, so we've had a break from this 2 pushes up to a new high, so that's played out now, and this to me looks like we're coming down anyway. Talk about stating the obvious, but second entry short up here.
Order submitted.
See how this pans out. Okay, it's going to have to be a lower high. See if it works at all.
Order cancelled.
I'm not sure if there's something like that. I don't like the way it's hard to say, really. There may be something like that. A spike in the channel, yeah. Okay, that would make sense, wouldn't it, break? Yeah, feel about something like that, yeah. Touch, 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 touch. Yeah, so it's initially sharp and then feathers out a little bit. Okay. Yeah, that's why I didn't get involved in any setups, because I wasn't a massive fan of it. Yesterday was a bit like that. I just couldn't seem to get a channel I liked. I think Mac in the end had it like that, didn't he? Which is, it's just kind of looks odd to me, that does, but that's how he had it. Touch, touch, touch. So it almost, when they're too shallow, they just seem to be a lot more unreliable, but I think that's how he had it. But I think he only had about 3 trades yesterday that he saw. Probably that was one of them, something like that, I think. My shallow uptrend that broke. Yeah, it does seem to look kind of right, doesn't it? Well, it's clearly working up there. We're losing momentum there a little bit, aren't we? Which is probably why we had a break. Whenever we don't quite get up there, we pushed up once, we struggle to get up less. Well, a bit closer, that wasn't a lesson. Showing you his chart. Yeah, exactly. But even so, does that look right to you? It's odd, isn't it? It just doesn't look. It just looks odd. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Who am I to tell him he's wrong? He's obviously way more experienced than me. So, but that's the thing. We can all sort of see. We all kind of have a general idea, but sometimes we can. You've only got to adjust it slightly, and it can look better. But it's not the first channel I've seen him mark like that. So, excuse me. That NQ's rocketing up. Kind of doesn't look terrible on the NQ, does it, that? I don't know. Sometimes when they're like that, they're hard to trade, and if you haven't got your channel right, you can balls up in your trading, can't you? You need to get your channel fitting right, otherwise things just don't Don't get a plan. Okay, so break, push up, new high. We got a little channel with a break, new high. In fact, with the break, 1, 2 pushes up to a new high. I don't know what this is going to do though. Excuse me. Okay, so that was Monday's high and Friday's high, funnily enough. So I think it's probably prudent to put that there. Yesterday's highs and lows locked. So it's pretty much, with the exception of that news, it's pretty much really just going sideways, isn't it? With a bit of a... So I wouldn't be shocked if it got up here again, and I wouldn't be shocked if he started working down again. Great trade that was. Great news event to trade valuations. I put an OCO order, I put a short below there and a long about here somewhere, and it just dropped. Sometimes, for odd reasons, it'll shoot in one direction and then shoot back in another direction. You think if it's good news, it goes up. Bad news, it goes down. But sometimes it just does some of this before it shoots, and it can sort of trigger you. But that worked an absolute treat. I was trading too, but they're both different. The prices on them are different because it dropped that quick. One of them sort of manually worked. The other one, well, I think they both must have manually done, but they're obviously about $8 difference between them. I don't quite know why, but yeah, if you had a short below there, woof, straight in, 10 contracts, 6.25 points, straight in and out about down here. I mean, that dropped like a stone. That's one of the biggest bars I've seen for a while. 55-point bar is the biggest I've seen, and that was 21 points. Did you use a limit? Yeah, I did, bud. Yeah, what I do, just in case you don't know about it, I'll show you on here. If you right-click on this side and click OCO order, and then I did a buy stop limit.
Order
and
submitted.
Put that there, and then a sell stop limit there.
Order submitted.
And yeah, I'll show you. If it triggers this one, it'll cancel that one. So it's triggered this one to go short and cancel the other one. So if it shoots up in that direction, triggers the one, cancels the other, and vice versa. Let me see if I can get me $60 back. That'll round me off. Beautiful. 200, that's where I needed to be. Excellent. So yeah, it's to be honest with you, I trade my evaluation stupidly lately. I do. It annoys me. So I thought, I'm stopping doing that now. I seem to pass it about 1 in about 7 or 8 for some stupid reason. I'm just trading them stupid. So I thought from now on, whenever we get a news event, certain news events work well. Others are a lot more erratic. That one just went bump. It just dropped like a stone, that one. Some will drop like maybe 3 or 4 points, shoot back up 4 points. Well, that'll fail your account then, your evaluation, but that one seems to work really well. So from now on, if I want a new evaluation, I'm just going to trade one. What I used to do, see, is have 2 accounts, put one long and one short until I found out you can, do the OCO order and only have the one evaluation, short and long at the same time. But yeah, just a limit order. But you need to select. If I right-click, select OCO, it's up here. If you get the setup wrong, you've got to redo it again. So you click it off and then click it on again. But it worked like a treat there. Passed me 2 in a second. So that was ideal. That would take me up to 11 now. So the idea is to get to 20 and then split them up 10 and 10. But it will only allow me to place 1 order, not 2 orders. Yeah, what you need to do is yeah, look. So if I get rid of it, if I click OCO order now on there, and if I click above here, it's got to be a buy stop limit up there.
Order submitted.
And a buy stop limit down there. Now, for some reason,
Order submitted.
For some reason, I delete that.
Order
shut
canceled.
that down because something's gone wrong. And if I try and do it now, it won't let me. Yeah? For some reason, I don't know why. So you've got to get rid of OCO order and then put it back on and then start again. But if you do buy stop limit now,
Order
it'll do
submitted.
it. So if that's why, just right click and click it off and then click it back on again. So sell stop limit.
Order
and then
submitted.
all I do is put 1 under it and 1 above it, and then if it shoots up and triggers this one, the buy, it'll cancel the sell and vice versa, and then you just have your normal accounts. So if you do trade the news, I have one down here, a 10 contract one there, I think, which is, yeah, it's at 1 tick above 6 points. And I just use that one, so that's one I just keep for just trading those.
Order cancelled.
But yeah, so you right click here and you'll see OCO order, just select it and you'll see it pop up your screen in green here. And if something goes wrong with it, just click it again and then just reselect it and it should sort itself out. Useful tool, actually. As long as the market just goes down, but if it goes down 5 points and doesn't quite hit you and comes back 3, it'll let you draw down because it's gone 5, come back 3, so it needs to push down past your 6 points. That clearly did, so that triggered, and there you go. That's where I got out, so it just blasted straight through there. So it happens in a second. So. It's only at the moment because you pass in 1 day. It's just useful. I can, I've done those this morning. I'll be trading them on a PA tomorrow. So, okay, so this now is starting to drop. Let me just check. There's no larger channel there that I'm getting stuck in. It's possible, but I'm not confident. That to me looks like a break at a new high, but it's quite hard to read today. It doesn't help with the news because then we've recovered this. If we didn't have that news, we may have just been doing this. Take profit and stop loss. Okay, I'll tell you why that is. 1 or 2 reasons. If you're using Apex, you can, because you're using the license. I'm guessing you haven't got a license. A NinjaTrader license, because you can use NinjaTrader for free, but you don't have the ATM strategy, so that might be why. That's going to show the chart properties that you trade ATM strategy selection. You've got set up. You do. I don't know why that's not done then. When you say the ATM strategy, Chris, you're on about what I've for the 10 contracts, you're on about for this, bud. You have the lifetime. Yeah, I don't know why you've not got it then. You should have the ATM strategy. It comes with it. You can use it free. You can use it free for, I think, about 2 weeks. But I don't know why you haven't got the ATM strategy. I'm not sure about that. Anybody else shed any light? I'm able to use a strategy for automatic exits. Just one I want to try and plan OCO trade. That's strange. See, if I go into my OCO order and I put orders there, I can still go into there. So I'm not sure why. Just have a play around with it, bud. Play around with it on a sim and just see. There's got to be a reason for it. Let's put that there. Let's make sure I know what I'm doing here. Oh, did you see it, Chris? Did you? Is that what you were looking at, bud? Was it? I'll pop it there. Is that what you needed? Was it? It's just when I'm trying to place an OCO order. If that's helped. If I just right click here, is that what you wanted to see there? You've got what you need, haven't you, bud? Yeah. You're welcome, mate. So channel down with a break and a not quite Luno. Yeah, it's same again, low volume, very much sideways. Okay, small second entry short which triggered and stopped out, so leg down, one attempt high, second attempt. So much for nice second. We haven't quite made a new low there, so channel down, one attempt, second attempt. Maybe second entry short that way, or two legs up, or a triple test. I just don't like what I'm looking at here. I don't know whether this thing's going to come down for another leg or push back up. I don't know if there's a bigger channel there that may be doing something like that. You just don't know, do you? If there is something like that, you could get stung. So it's just not very clear, really. And you could always say there's a possibility that we've already had a break of that channel. We got 3 bars there. You could say a break, 2 pushes down, which means it may not come down. So I kind of like it like that at the moment, but there is a possibility we may have had a small break. I don't know. Maybe a triple test. One, two, three. That channel looks better in the NQ anyway, so this is the NQ. So we've come down that channel, we've had a break, 1, 2 attempts. Maybe this is maybe a triple test. Second entry short, triple test. It's hard to say. What are we looking at? It's just a bit random, isn't it? I'd like to see us trigger that long and come down. Let's keep an eye on that. See if we can trigger the long on that NQ. It needs to stay bullish. Just going to open an order just in case.
Order submitted.
Yeah, I want to see that bar trigger come down for us. If that triggers above there and comes down bearish, it's a second entry short triple test. Just can't take anything at the moment.
Order cancelled.
Visual second entry on the CL about 20 minutes ago. You're on about here, yeah? Yeah. It's a bit more predictable, this is. But yeah. You'd think a leg down, wouldn't you? We've had a small break there. That's the second entry long I took. So far, this CL almost looks like the ES did a couple of years ago. Things are a bit more obvious. So it's definitely something worth looking at. Well, that second entry long, perfect setup, worked a treat. So let's see. Are you planning on copy trading your accounts or trading? The CL at the moment, I'm just playing around with it on a sim just to get a feel for it and what I see. But I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, if it works, put it this way, price action is supposedly supposed to work exactly the same on every time frame. So I know Vlad, from what I gather, trades them exactly the same. So maybe I will. I don't know, bud, really. I don't know. It's a good question, actually, Jonathan. Maybe I'll trade half and half, or maybe just a couple. I don't really know. I'll see how it pans out over the next few weeks. I'll just trade it just for a bit of fun for the next 2 weeks, just to see what I see. But the difference is I'd have to set up flow bots, wouldn't I? Slightly different, because I'd have to have 2 copy traders up, one for the CL, one for this. So I don't know how that works, but it's an interesting question. So let's have a look. There is a failure there. 1, 2, 3. Is this coming down or what? Yeah, I've triggered some longs there. I want to see this bullish bar trigger. If that trigger 1, 2, 3 might be a nice triple test. It hasn't triggered yet. There's a failure on here. If that triggers, May come down after that, but I'm just keeping an eye on that. It has triggered. So it'll either take off or come back. So leg and a leg. Wow. That's turned... I'm just going to get an order ready
Order
just
submitted.
in case. No. It may work. It's looking
Order cancelled.
pretty good so far. Once, twice, somewhere about here. Triple test, trap the longs. And it's also, you can visually see 2 legs up. So that's interesting, that. Let's see if that works. If that finishes bearish like that, that's coming down for me. I'll definitely be some longs in there taking that fairly, but for me after this, you'd think it'd come down. If it breaks below there, it's game over. But unfortunately, we haven't got a setup. I mean, it could go the other way. There's always that possibility. I find the market hard to read today. I couldn't tell you whether it's likely to go back up or not. This is one of those days where you've just got to trust the fact that it's a bit hard to read, and don't try and get too clever. Well, it's not going like I thought it might do there. Well, it may do, but there's going to be some battle in there. It's a nice looking bar to go long there, so it is a failure. But we got this big channel down here with a break. So I would say it's more likely to come down because it is a triple test and you are trapping some longs. If you get below there, it's over. It's going to come down at least to the lows, but I don't know, there's some battling. In fact, I'll leave that on the chart and just move it over a bit. And it's kind of a leg and a leg as well, isn't it? If I was trading the NQ, I'd have probably traded that. But I'm just trying to notice the difference between congestion and a triple test and a clearer triple test. You've got to sort of count that, really, haven't you? But it's just a bit sideways. Maybe we'll get a lower high here, but that trade is looking precarious. It may hold. It's getting very close, isn't it? Surely it's going to be taken out, isn't it? Yeah, I was done. So that is a triple test, but it's just too congested. So it's not safe to go, really. Now, this may be a failed breakout, so it may stop you out and then end up going in the same place. So let's see if we get a bearish bar that has triggered there. So maybe that might be the better trade. Leg and a leg. Straight down to the bottom. Sometimes it'll do you that, take you out and then come down. But I actually thought the bar, if it was going to come down, would have been where it would have come down from. If you're going to take any short there to come lower, that's the one to take. There's nothing else I can see as good as that. So same again, a lot of chop, and it's unclear. We're going up, we're going down. Who knows? Let me see if there's any type of sideways there. Okay. Parallel with the EMA. You got that down as a bigger channel, have you, Jay? Yeah, I've just changed that. I had that initially like that. There, but in all fairness, it's just continued down, isn't it? This does look clearer, a lot clearer. I mean, look how smooth it is. Perfect second entry long there. Worked the treats, higher low, worked a bit as well. There's a lower high there. Visual 2 legs up. That worked. Because sometimes even trades that look right work as well. But what I will say is this thing just tends to take you straight out, even if you get a bit cheeky and take something a bit risky. And of course, there is a possibility we may have another leg down. But look how smoother it's moving. It's a lot clearer compared to the ES. I mean, the ES is a bunch of bollocks. Look at the state of it. It looks awful. It's all over the place, bouncing up and down. It seems to be going up, break new high, then we're down, then we had a break. You think we'd be coming down and making a new low, but it's just all over the place. ES is crap lately. So this now, I would have said, looks like it's more likely working up than coming down. No idea. I mean, there's still a possibility of 2 legs up and down, but just you took this one here, that one there, or which one there? No, that one. What are you on about here? That one there. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes these ones work. It's still, I mean, although it looks red, it's still bullish. It's still in that top 3/4, isn't it? Yeah. I don't think it's a bad one. It clearly worked. Yeah, I've given up thinking this thing's going to come down at the moment. NQ took off just before it as well, yeah. It is good to have the NQ as well. It does give you, the NQ's looking more bullish in this, I think, really, isn't it? Especially as that triple test triggered and then rocketed up. I think when trades like that get stopped out, clearly the thing's going in the opposite direction. I think it's fair to, well, look at it go now. So, is this some kind of a range? There's got to be something here. Let's just put that like that for now. Let's call that maybe a couple of tests. Yeah, by the looks of that, the way that's turned and come down and retested and pushed up, I think it's likely we are bouncing off resistance there. It looks it's more sideways than anything, isn't it? It was a bit hard to read, really. That's the trouble. When it's hard to read, you don't know whether it's coming up or down. If it's clearly going sideways, it's pretty straightforward. You know you're looking for shorts up here and vice versa. But when it kind of goes up and then up and down and sideways, it's, you know, it's the hardest part of this is to apply the trades to the correct context. But at the moment, the context isn't really giving us a lot of information, is it? Apart from it's choppy. That bit was a bit clearer, but then, yeah, I don't know. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, it's not hard to trade these things together, is it? I don't know how difficult it will be trading too, but this CL so far is looking crystal clear. It's kind of looking what the ES was like when I started. Looking like there'll be some setups. At the end of the day, I don't want to be greedy, you know. I don't want to go mad. I'm happy if I can get one good trade a day. I'm quite happy. I kind of like finishing after one anyway. You're up, nice bit of profit. Trouble is, there's nothing worse. There's nothing more frustrating if when you've made money you end up losing it. I've changed my plan as well. I was talking to my wife last night. I was going to just take $2,000 every time I hit $2,600. It just clearly ain't going to work. That $2,000 I took out of that other account a week or so ago. I took a trade on it. It was down $130, $150. It was like $400 left, so I just took a punt trying to get lucky. It's just not worth it. It's just too risky. So I'm just going to take $1,000 and I want to let them build. The plan is to take $1,000 out of an account when it hits $2,600 and then just continue to let it ride. And if I can get $1,000 a month, whatever else on top, we'll just grow the account. But taking 2,000, it doesn't work the way I do things. If you're the Alpine guy, you can make it work, then great. But I'm just taking $1,000, and that'll just keep topping up, being able to build the accounts. So, channel with an overshoot. See, normally I see Marco take a lot of these lower highs after an overshoot. Trouble is will it come back down this way? We've come off the bottoms, haven't we? Anyone else able to use OTO to place two orders simultaneously? I don't know why I can only place one trade. Not sure, bud. Let me just bring mine in and do it again. So all I do is right click here, click OCO order, click above it. So I would click. I can either click buy market or buy stop. So let's
Order
click buy
submitted.
market, and then click below it and click
Order
sell
submitted.
market. There's my two orders, buy and sell. If you move one or something's not right and you
Order
cancel
cancelled.
it won't allow you to do it again. You have to right click, select it, which takes it off, and then right click it again. But you'll notice there's the OCO order, so then it
Order
enables me to
submitted.
drop orders in then. So and then you just obviously put one above, one below, but just make sure there. But if you get rid of it, you can't do it again
Order
without
cancelled.
first deselecting it and then reselecting it again. So we've got a channel up here, touch, 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 fitting nice clearly, clear overshoot. But are we going sideways or are we going up or are we coming down? Excuse me, just for 1 minute. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay. So, channel overshoot. If there was a lower high, you may have had a go at that back to the EMA, but so far was so far back, so nothing, unfortunately, for me. Moo Moo. I don't know, bud. I know he's a big runner, isn't he? He does a lot of running. He enters a lot of events, so I think that's big on his calendar. And the last I heard, he was doing some big run marathon. I don't know what it was, some big run somewhere, and he just doesn't seem to have come back. So I have been looking occasionally, but he's not seemed to have come back. So whether it might be the season and he's spending a lot of time running, I'm not sure. So there is a lower high there. We may get a leg and a leg. But I don't like this on the NQ. It's a bit congested here. Is that going to work? Maybe. But trouble is, when we get an overshoot, sometimes we'll get a correction. Sometimes it'll come back, push up, make a new high, and then reverse. So that may be the first part of the correction. We may get another leg down here. I seem to disappear. I used to watch Hermit. I've not seen a Hermit. Yeah, I suppose people come and go, don't they? It's not for everyone. It is hard, and it does cost money, and it can be frustrating. So there is a big failure rate. I don't think it's the fact because people aren't capable. There's a lower high there after that overshoot. It's very tempting that. It's only 6 ticks as well, isn't it? Trouble is, I'd want to be out by the EMA. If that's 6 ticks, there's barely a point there. I prefer the lower high up here, really. We're a lot closer to it, and I don't like that that's pushing up anyway. It hasn't triggered anyway. As I say, sometimes when we get an overshoot, we will push up, make a new high, and then reverse. So, yeah, it's got a high. a high failure rate, and after doing it for 3.5 years, I absolutely understand why. Hey Thomas, how you doing, buddy? Did you see any of those the Northern Lights? Unfortunately, I was fast asleep in bed, and I think it's probably once in a lifetime event, certainly in the UK, especially to see all the Reds. But yeah, I missed it all. And no one thought to phone me up and say, quick look out your window. Yeah, it's not the type of thing you see in this part of the UK. Sometimes up the north, Scotland and that you will occasionally, I believe, but I took the long after that bullish bar. Yeah, I know, it's a shame, isn't it? It's not something you always see. But yeah, frustrating. I took that long after the bullish bar. Free val. Was a dumb trade after the bullish bar. That one there, did you? Is that what you mean? Well, you didn't go there, did you? Yeah, mate, we all make dumb trades, bud. I could have made a career out of making dumb trades. No one warned me now. My brother lives up the road. My sister's not far away. I've got plenty of friends in and around and family. You think someone would ring up and say, look out your window. But they all seem to manage to go out and they had time to photograph him, but not time to ring. Yeah, don't worry about it, Sam. We all do it, mate. I took a dumb trade on Friday. But no, was it yesterday? Yeah. An absolute one that I always talk about not taking. And I did it myself. Yeah, sometimes we just get into these funny moods and we take trades that we really normally wouldn't. Yeah, it's a bit odd. Oh, you mean it worked? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not that lucky, mate. A lot of the dumb trades I do, I get punished for. I don't seem to have a lot of luck with trading. I mean, there is an element of luck always, isn't there? But a small amount, especially if you take a bad trade. Sometimes a bit of luck can pull you out of it. But even when I take a bad trade, I seem to get abused. So, what are we doing here? Now, to me, I think it's more likely after that. We had that initial drop from the news, and then we more or less took it all back. And when we actually broke the highs, mostly, I think we've been going sideways. So, we've come off these bottoms, so maybe we get a correction and then push up, but I still think it's more likely we're going to head upwards. I don't know. Who knows? Looking for a lower high on that CL. That's working nice. We've had a break. Nice bearish drop. I was hoping we might get a second entry short here, but I think that's going to take off. I think it's probably going to work anyway, but it would have been nice to get that just a nick above there. But I love how this works. It works at a quite slow speed. It's not too quick, but there's still a relatively good amount of volume, I think. Yeah. The volume's nice, but look how smooth this is working. I mean, is there any congestion or chop? There literally isn't, is there? Maybe a tiny touch here, but then we came back, touched this again, and then down we went. But look how much cleaner it is. I mean, that's just so smooth, isn't it? I should have not told anyone that I'm doing it. Trouble is, everyone will do it now, and the setups will disappear. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Have you noticed Alpine? He didn't show anybody his trades, did he, for a long time? And then when Kellyanne started sort of delving into his practice, he started showing his trades and started losing. He was seen to be doing really well as soon as. So whether showing people him trading made a difference in your psychology, I don't know. Is it just pure luck, or pure unlucky that he's just happened to have losses when he's had them? But it is weird, isn't it? Yeah, she's done. Yeah, it is risky, to be honest with you. I was watching. Who's the other trader guy? Volatility trader. He was just getting massacred. Trouble is, if you're risking your whole PA account on, on one trade, you can't have a trade where you don't have a stop loss and you just let it run out. You have to bring a stop loss into play because, the best traders in the world are going to have losses. And if every time you have a loss, you blow an account, you're never going to last long. I don't know how he's so successful at it, but he must have a time where he decides to get out of the market. Otherwise, what's the point? But yeah, I noticed she'd stop that. I think it's human nature, isn't it? If someone in your sort of field you see making a lot of money, it's human nature. You're going to start thinking, well, what does he do? And then when you find out what he does, let me have a go myself. But the trouble is, it's so hit and miss, and it can literally. I've seen the volatility trader blow quite a few accounts, and but yeah, I don't know how he does so well at it, but he has had a few hiccups lately. Okay, folks, my wife has just come home. I'm just going to go and make a quick cup of tea. Don't think I'm under the thumb. Because I'm not. I might get her to make me one, actually. So I'll just pop that. Why won't that come out? Why won't my 5-minute break thing pop up? Oh, it has. Okay. Okay, quick 3 to 5 minutes and I'll be back. Okay. Right. What are we seeing? Overshoot, new high. Yeah, it's just giving us nothing really, is it? Are we coming down? Are we going up? No idea. Break, new high. Are we pushing down? Market's gone slower. Okay, that's I think there's a larger channel there. It's possible. Are we likely to go up? Possible. If we can get a higher low. It's hard to say. I mean, it looks like it's working there. Maybe a two-tiered channel. I don't know. I'm just not sure at the moment. That CL chart is working beautifully. Nice channel down there. We had a break. Lower high. Well, it was an inside bar, but I was looking for a lower high there and down for a new low. But this is working so cleanly. There's almost no congestion on it. It's just flowing. Break. 2 pushes down to a new low. Beautiful. Now, granted, it might just be a good day, but I wouldn't expect to jump on a chart and get hundreds of trades fitting absolutely beautiful every time. But if thinking about it, if you look at this part, we had like a spike in a channel, and I'm assuming a lot of that was probably to do with maybe the news. But even just a little bit of, I mean, you could say that was a failure. That worked. That bearish bar worked. Channel break, new high. Try go on. Try a little failure. Trapping some long straight down. That second entry long, which I took higher low. That work for 10 ticks. I wouldn't have taken it because you come into the highs there. So yeah, it may have done. I may have just done it, but it's too close to the highs really. That's a better setup. But yeah, break, 2 pushes down, new low. So that seems to be working really nice. But I'm not sure about this channel at the moment. I think it's a simple case of if you're not sure, just don't take anything. So news, recovery, and then a little uptrend, losing momentum with a break new high, few attempts to go higher, straight down, and we found some support down here, which makes sense that this may be probably the bottom of something, maybe just support. But we could have a leg and another leg up. It's always possible. A leg and a leg. But lately, it's just the last 3 days really have been more really ranging. Although we've had a bit of a down and then a bit of up and down and then up. But we've had that news took us right out below these lows. So I think it's certainly feasible we get to these highs, maybe even the highs of the last 2 days. So let's see if this channel is maybe starting to look like something. So it's clearly working there, and it looks like a 2-tiered channel. So it's pushed off there, which is a good sign. But I want more than that really. So maybe a higher low. The NQ break 2 pushes up to a new high, maybe trapping along there. There's a failure there which may trap that long. I don't know though. It's just a bit unclear. Up, down, up. Yeah, I don't know. It's really not giving me a lot away. It's sort of very similar in a way too. No. Let's put that there for now. Yeah, it is a second strong, but it's not triggered below properly, is it? It's not sat below on the NQ, but the trouble is to go longer, you've got to think it's going up, and at the moment, I just don't know. That bit of price there is working perfectly in that bottom tier, absolutely beautifully. And then we have that strong push up, a couple of tops there, and then back to this level. But it's not broken. Sorry, it's not closed below that line at all. So I think that's not too bad. See, if there was an overshoot, we've pushed up, making a new high. Now, there is that likelihood that we could move down. So if that was, we had it like that, push up, overshoot, came back, pushed up, new high. We could be working down now. That's always that possibility. But it's a hard market to read, so I'm just not sure. So, in fact, we may have a correction before it pushes up. I don't know really. In fact, let's just put that back to where it was. Leg and a leg. Let's see if it now starts to push up and gets to these highs. I won't be taking this in case you get trapped, but if we get some good signals. So it could be just 2 legs with a break, and then up we go. But there is a possibility with that thinner channel, there's an overshoot, and often after an overshoot, sometimes it'll correct and continue up, other times it'll push up, make a new high, and then drop. And this could just be part of the drop. Sometimes we get a bit out this side and a bit out that side, and then it carries on. That NQ. It's hard to know, see, it's just so choppy. Visual, second entry long. I wouldn't take this. It could stitch it, but if we can get a high low, or it looks like. I like the way it's trapped that bear bar there. But I don't know is the answer. It's a tough day really to read. This has been the story most days lately. How much have you made off Apex? I've had not a lot, but I've never had this many accounts now. So I've had $14,000. But up until 2 months ago, I was still revenge trading and going on tilt and just blowing account. Whenever I had a loss at the end of a day, a loss or two, I'd walk off the screen, I'd shut down, and I'd continue to trade until I got my money back or this. But things changed. That my mindset changed about 2 months ago, and ever since, I've got now. Well, tomorrow it'll be 11 PA accounts, and I've had two lots of 2,000 out of 2 of them. And I've got 2 of them around about the 1,600. They were a bit higher, but I had a loss yesterday. So it's going to be a better year this year. Put it this way. But it's not easy. It does take time, and the hardest part for me is not so much the skill level. I seem to be not too bad with that. It's been it's going on tilt and not accepting losses. But I can walk away now, and I don't get that urge to jump back in. I can quite easily just walk away. So there is 2 legs down and a second entry long, which is triggered and it's about to get stopped out. So I don't think that is necessarily going up anymore now. So I'm just trying to think how I can adjust this so I don't know, so whether we're having something like that, I'm not sure. Break out the top, break out the bottom. It's quite hard to read this. It is kind of going sideways, but it's just not very clear, is it? Whether that is an overshoot me are coming down is hard to say, really. That's how I initially had it. Should be in a channel with an overshoot. We had a pullback, new high, 1, 2 pushes up to a new high, and then almost like a reversal. But it's every time we come up, we're hitting different places. Every time we come down, we're hitting different places. So it's pretty hard to trade this, really. It's finding the right direction for a start. I mean, I couldn't tell you whether we're going to push up now or come down here. I've just not got a clue, really. Yeah, look at that little dirty bugger. Triggered, pushed up, stopped out by about a couple of ticks, and then straight back down. That's frustrating. Nice to see that. Market's very sneaky if you're taking that one. Triggers you, stops you out by a tick, and then turns down exactly where you thought it was going. Very mean. Okay, I think I'm going to knock up the head for today. I have some forms to fill in this afternoon with my wife and my daughter's school, so it's slow at the moment. I haven't seen anything yet. Normally I do an extra 45 minutes, but it's slow today. But I am pleased that I've had a setup on this. There may be a bit more. I mean, we seem to have a spike in a channel. There was kind of a second entry long there which triggered and came down, so you may consider that one. There's actually a second entry short there. It's clearly respecting that. I like the way you've pushed up and come down. So yeah, in fact, you can see it broke lower there. There is a second entry short there which worked. A little bit of an overshoot followed by a correction and down some more. Leg pull back, and it does look like a little, so you may have taken something like that. But I kind of like the way it pushed out and it tested the underside of this 1, 2, 3. So that might have been an option as well. So that came down, but these are more slightly aggressive trades anyway. But that one I took, clear second entry. It's about as clear as can be, really. In fact, it's that clear. I kind of, if I saw that on the ES, I'd be very suspicious because we just don't see them. But, you know, we had a leg up and a leg up, clear 2 legs down, small break there and a push up before it sort of reversed. So that worked out for 2 points. It's early days yet anyway. I'm only playing around with this. I'm only playing around with it for a few weeks just to see if it all works as well as I think. But it was the same risk. It just works out the same risk. And the same profit, really. I mean, I was out. Where was I out there? Where was it? Yeah, I was out 2 points. It's a short, so it works exactly the same, really. I mean, Vlad did say it did, but I was out in that one push. Worked beautifully, so I'm pleased with that. What did I do there? Oh, I was just showing an OCO order, but yeah, clear 2 legs. Second entry long. Worked nice. So first entry, yeah. So far so good. So that's worked out nice. I just don't know what's going on here. Price is the same again. The volume's low. It is very sideways. It's a lot of finicky stuff today, isn't it? So I've got a few jobs to do anyway. I've got to go and pick up some wood later as well, and I've got to fill some forms in with my wife for a while. So I'm going to finish early. So if you're carrying on trading, best of luck. I hope you get a nice setup. But it's Wednesday tomorrow, so I'll be back to normal tomorrow. Full 3 hours, and hopefully I'll have a couple of other counts tomorrow. But hopefully we'll start making some progress on this CL chart. But if no one else is looking at it, that's it there. It's just the CL chart, which is crude oil if no one knows. And it's the 500 tick chart, which works the same monetary wise. Two contracts that almost give you the same risk and same profit with the same sort of movement than on the ES. But Vlad, I believe he's one of the mods in Mac's forum, put a post out a while. Somebody mentioned it to me last night, so I'll just show you if anybody is interested. What's it? Where is it? There it is. That was it there. That was just the post he put out about 6 months ago. I started trading CL and 500 tick charts with the ES on a 2000 tick chart. Sometimes there is no entries on the ES. So, we're all noticing they are a bit sensitive. And he only trades for 2 hours every day. So, trades for 10 ticks, which is the equivalent movement-wise for about 8 ticks on the 2000 tick chart. So, 2 points, 10 ticks works out the same amount. So, but he seems to have been success with it. He's been doing it for 6 months, so usually you get a feeling for these things. If it's not working or something's not right, you'll ditch it soon. But so I have got the chart on, and I have been looking at it, and we have had one set up this morning. But look how clearer, how much clearer. It's just flowing beautifully. Flows. There's very little congestion. Very little at all, but it's so much clearer. So whether that's just a lucky day or what, I don't know. But I wouldn't expect to jump straight on this and start making a ton of money, but it's nice to have another option because lately, certainly this week, it's been a lot. And this is very hard to trade this. It's hard. I mean, before you trade, before you take a setup, you've got to know which direction it's moving. But the trouble is, every time it comes up here, it's hitting different levels, so you don't know whether you're safe to go long. And every time it comes down here, we're hitting different levels. So you don't know whether we're bouncing. So this is really hard going. So while I'm sat here for 2 or 3 hours, I may as well look at another chart. So, but so far so good. So a good start to the day. So best of luck today. And I'll be back again tomorrow as normal. So have a great evening. Stay safe. And I will be back same time tomorrow. Bye for now.